Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White, Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video. And today, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. Now, I got this story from another YouTuber. His name is Neil McCoy Ward. I believe he's from the Isle of Man. And I like to watch different YouTube videos from different people because they talk about things that aren't discussed in mainstream news. So I see a story that gets my attention, then I do my own research, and I have to admit, artificial intelligence, and I have talked about this before, but not on this level. Artificial intelligence is going to destroy our way of life in so many ways that many people aren't thinking about. But I really want to talk about this and how we can protect ourselves. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment and tell me what your thoughts are on artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. I'm not really going to talk about ChatGPT in this video, but it is following along the same lines. It is really going to disrupt our society. So let me explain right now. So check this out. All right, so we've all heard about how AI and Chat GPT will take jobs, but sometimes you have to look at the numbers. And here you can clearly see that they're talking about ranging from 300 million to a billion jobs lost due to artificial intelligence. Now, that is a mind-blowing number because you have to remember something. It might be pretty hard to replace the jobs that are lost by AI. And it's not just going to hit lower level jobs, it's also going to hit white collar jobs too. And I'll tell you guys a secret. Well, it's not really a secret, but you guys know, well, some of you know I'm a ghostwriter. I get paid to write for other people. Well, I recently lost a client. He's a real estate, he owns a real estate firm on the West Coast, and he had to stop using me to ghostwrite for him because business is tough. And so for me, I also have to remember that Chat GPT is out there. It could take my position as a ghostwriter. So I'm affected by this too. So it can affect everybody in many different ways. So I lost a client, but it is what it is. That's what happens. But billions of jobs could be lost because of AI. And that is something we have to think about. But now let's look at the effects of these jobs lost and how it really affects the economy and our way of life. So check this out because I don't think many people really think about this. Okay, so I want you to think about this. When you work, you have deductions taken out of your check every time you get paid. I don't think artificial intelligence is going to get a check. So that means there are certain deductions that will not be taken out of our paychecks. And one big one is Social Security. Social Security is taken out of the check, and that is used to fund the Social Security account. So if this thing kicks off and more jobs are lost and are not replaced, does that mean less money will be paid into Social Security? And if that happens, what is going to happen to the money that is in the Social Security fund? Is it going to decrease even quicker than it is now? I mean, I want you to really, really think about this. How will we fund Social Security? How many young people always say they won't have Social Security when they get older? Well, this is a perfect reason why. Because if people aren't working, you're not going to get it, period. On that same vein, same line, we can talk about Medicare. We can talk about the FICA taxes. Medicare is taken out of your paycheck to fund Medicare. Monies are taken out of your check to pay for Medicare. So if less people are working, how will we fund the Medicare? And we know how expensive medical care is. So this is going to hurt the economy in ways that people really aren't thinking about. And another one, and of course there are more, but another one is the fact that if you're not working, especially if you're not going out to a job, think about all the people who go to work and they take toll roads and things of that nature, that is going to be a huge amount of revenue for cities that is not going to be there anymore because they make money off of these toll roads. AI is not traveling anywhere. So that's going to be a huge amount of money that these cities and states they lose. So all of this is going to play a tremendous role in impacting a local economy, a state economy, and our economy as a whole when it comes to Social Security and Medicare. And I didn't even think about this before. I just thought about jobs lost and people won't be able to find work. But this is huge. These ripple effects from artificial intelligence are going to be devastating to the economy. But wait, there is more, unfortunately. All right, so here is another residual effect or collateral damage from AI. AI is not going out to lunch. AI doesn't care about the neighborhood. So these businesses that surround those AI establishments, they could see a tremendous drop in revenues because people just would not go out and frequent their establishments. It could be anything from going out to get lunch to um, getting gas from the gas station. Because I remember myself, sometimes I would get gas from the gas station right near my job. But as a result of that, all these surrounding businesses that rely on those workers for their revenues, they will be dramatically impacted also. And we already saw that because of the pandemic, but that was supposedly or hopefully not a permanent thing. But with AI, those jobs are not coming back. And now some people will say, well, AI won't take all jobs. But again, if we're talking up to 1 billion jobs that are going to be lost to AI, this will still have a tremendous impact on our society as a whole. So it's still something that we have to think about. And the next thing that will be impacted is um, schools and property values because we all know that these things are affected by the people who live in the neighborhood and what's in that neighborhood. So if you have some really wealthy people living in certain areas or really high paying jobs in an area, that will cause property values to go up and it can give you better schools as well. But if AI is there, then what is the incentive to have their property value even higher or have better schools? Because the people who live there, it's possible, but it can still have a detrimental effect. And look at it like this, look at what happened with Detroit because Detroit was the home of the automobile makers, automobile manufacturers, and it was thriving. But when they left, it became a ghost town, and properties values plummeted, and it just has not recovered. Something similar could happen to many neighborhoods and cities in America because of AI. And last but certainly not least, think about all the people who put money into their 401k every paycheck. So basically, the stock market is going to take a huge hit because every 2 weeks, the stock market gets this huge influx of cash from people because they have automatic deductions. That money goes right into the stock market in the form of mutual funds, money markets, bond funds, whatever. If people are not working, then that is going to stop and it's going to decrease dramatically. So, what's going to happen to the stock market? What's going to happen to your 401k? How are you going to be able to save for retirement if you cannot get a job because your job has been taken by AI? These are things people really need to ponder because, again, I had never really thought of it like this, but I can see how this can affect many things around the world. And again, AI may not take every single job, but if you can think about a billion people, what kind of effect will that have on economies? You got to remember something. America only has like 330 million people in it. If we're talking a billion people, that could be the entire United States if we really want to, just be fancy with it. But we're talking around the world. So it's going to have a tremendous impact on all these different sectors of our society, and it's going to directly impact our way of life and standard of living. Okay, guys, so I guess my point is when this AI and Chat GPT really takes hold, it will be really difficult to get out of this mess. Because again, it may be very difficult to find jobs, period. And then it's slowly evolving, and we really don't know how deep this can go, how many jobs this can really take from us. So we need to really pay close attention, but we still have time to prepare. So one of the best things we must do is at least try to create multiple streams of income and passive income. Too many of us are relying on one job and one source of income to pay all our bills. Now, I told you guys that I lost a client because I write for him, wrote real estate articles. Now, remember, that's just one client for me. I'm a ghostwriter for several different people, and I have my books, have my online courses. So yeah, I lose one, and of course I'm not happy about it, but that's not my only source of income. If he was my only source of income, yeah, I'd be crying right now. But what I have to do is be creative and try to find another source of income. That's it. I don't have a choice. So I can't sit around and cry and be upset. It's just part of life, it's part of the game. You lose your job, you have to find another income source. But the key is to have multiple income sources. And this is what frustrates me about our educational system. They don't teach this. They teach you to get that one job, and that one job is supposed to pay all your bills. But thanks to inflation, is that really realistic? And if you have Social Security right now, you you got to try to get multiple streams of income, people, just based on what I told you before. And inflation is killing your purchasing power with your Social Security checks anyway. So we have to do it. I don't care how old you are, what stage you are in life. We have to try. We have no choice at this point. Next, we want to or need to reduce or eliminate as much debt as we can. The less we have to pay out of our checks every week, the better off we will be. That means cutting back on your credit card debt and doing whatever you can to eliminate or reduce debt. I tease people all the time and say, yeah, I have an old truck, but it's paid for, and the air conditioning works, so I can get by. If I need to get somewhere, I will get there, and we just have to change our mindset. I mean, do I want a new car? A car? Of course I do. But will I actually go out and get one? No, because I'm not paying a car note. So it's these little things that we must do. And I've said this before in a couple of videos, and I'll say it again. If you, and this is controversial, do your own research and decide for yourself what you want to do. But if you have a house, and you have a mortgage, and you have a job, and you get laid off from that job, and that 401k that you have um, is enough to pay off your house, just think about it. Just think about it. Think about taking that money and paying off your house. Just think about it. Because if you did that, now you don't have to worry about getting a job that's going to pay enough to pay off that house. What you have to worry about then is paying your property taxes, and if it's an early withdrawal for your 401k, paying that back. Can you get a job that pays significantly less to cover those expenses? If you can, this might be something you want to consider. Just a thought. I'm not telling you what to do, but I tell you what, if your house is paid for, I promise you, you won't be as stressed as someone who has to keep paying that mortgage because they know if they lose their job, they could lose their home too. So just a thought, people. Okay, next you want to stock up on food, water, and other essentials because if people are not working, This is where they will come in and save the day with that central bank digital currency. And with that central bank digital currency, they will have control over how you spend that central bank digital currency. So if you like to eat Reese cups, if you like to eat pizza, if you like to drink alcohol, if you like to buy ammo, they may tell you, well, I'm sorry, sir, but we can't allow you to buy that with this central bank digital currency. What we can allow you to buy, though, is, I don't know, broccoli and bugs to eat. You can buy all that as much as you want, but all that other stuff, oh no, you can't buy that with this. So what you need to start doing now is stocking up on food, water, and other essentials that you need and use, because one day you may not be able to buy it for whatever reason. Pick a reason. You can't afford it, it's not available, or they just won't let you buy it. Next tip is to plant a garden. And even if you live in an apartment, you can grow some potatoes. You can get a 5 pound, a five, excuse me, guys. You can get a 5 pound bucket, fill it with dirt. And when those potatoes start to sprout, you can put them in the dirt. You can buy all types of plants and things that can grow right in your home in 5 pound bags. I say buckets, bags, whatever. Make sure you have the dirt. And if you have a nice source of sunlight, you can do that. You don't have to have a whole farm. The idea or the goal is you are planting something, your neighbor's planting something, another neighbor's planting something. And if you can do that, then you guys can eat collectively together. This is going to be a community thing that we have to do, but unfortunately, a lot of people aren't thinking on these along these lines yet. But hopefully, people start to get the picture. But until then, you plant what you can plant. I say potatoes because potatoes are filling; they can fill you up. Get you some potatoes, plant some garlic, plant some tomatoes, some little things, whatever you can do. Just do something. Next, physical gold and silver. Physical gold and silver is real money. And I just watched a video by my boy Mike at Parallel Systems where he was talking about how some billionaires were saying gold is trash, gold is useless. Well, if gold is useless, please tell me why central banks are buying gold by the ton. Please explain that. They're buying it because it is a store of value. And that gold and silver can be used to buy things that you may not have. If I have a bunch of whatever and I have excess, I will sell it. Will I sell it for dollars? Probably not. But if you have a ounce of silver, yeah, I'll take that because I can take that silver and buy something else with that. Just do something, people. Get you some physical gold and silver. They come in ounces, they come in grams. Just buy it. Just get a little bit as you can. And think of it as dollar cost averaging. You don't have to go out and buy $5,000 worth. Most people can't do that. But just like your paycheck, you can put a little bit aside every 2 weeks. $30, $40, $50. You can get you some gold and silver every single week, every 2 weeks, every month. And last but definitely not least, have alternative sources of power. Because if you lose your job, if you can't afford to pay your bill, your electric bill, how are you going to keep your lights on? If you have solar generators and solar panels, guess what? You have lights, period. You will have lights. If you can get a gas generator, you can power your home. You can power things in your home that you need. So we don't know what's going to happen with this AI. We don't know how bad electric bills are going to get. We don't know if you're going to still be able to have money to pay your bills. But if you have a solar generator, you can keep your fridge on, you can keep your deep freezer on, you can have some lights on, you can have a rice cooker. I even have one of those electric, what do you call them? Warmers where you can warm up food. It's like a set of three, and you can put food in it. You can plug it into the generator, and it'll heat up your food. So In times of power outages, you can still have warm food with something like that. So these are just things that you want to seriously consider. Yes, I think things are going to get worse, and there's nothing we can really do about it, but we can protect ourselves as much as we possibly can. I don't like people who only talk about the problem and don't give any solutions. Here are some things that we can do. You may not be able to do everything on this list, but you can do something. If you can do something to protect yourself and help yourself, that'll help you sleep just a little bit better at night. But one thing you don't want to do is just sit back and say, woe is me, and do nothing, or look around and see who to blame. I don't really care whose fault this is at this point. The fact of the matter is, it's happening, and I got to do what I can to protect myself and my family. So these are just my thoughts, people. Let me know what you think. Um, Times are crazy. A lot of people are not paying attention, but if you watching this video, one of the very few, then that means you're paying attention too. And we have to work together and stick together to protect ourselves. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk later. Peace.